Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Saran, and today I'll be talking about the mount system and what we players would expect from developers after all this time. I hope that there is just a little chance that this video will reach the AGS team and that they might get some ideas from this. If you have any ideas or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment and we can discuss it. Mounts are probably the most requested feature people have been asking for a while now, and finally it's been confirmed that it's being worked on. When we can expect mounts in the new world is a more complicated matter. Developers have said that the game is getting bigger, and if it gets any more bigger than Brimstone Sands, it only will make sense to add it. So it seems we should be getting mounts with the next new zone release, yet this might be many months away. I would assume at least 9 months to around 1 year and a half at max, if they do not want to lose more of the majority of players. This is a long time to wait for rideable mechanics if it has nothing more to it. For this estimated time frame, I would expect something much bigger. If most likely mounts are coming with next zone update, I think it should be highly themed around new creatures and beasts hidden somewhere in Aeternum. It's important to connect everything to lore and the situation right now that we have in the new world, that there are no rideable creatures anywhere. However, it could involve and include some animals we already have in-game to make it into mounts. Now, how we get the mounts is also really important. We should not be able to just buy them from some NPC, and definitely not from in-game cash shops. I believe that all mounts should be acquired through taming these animals and older creatures, requiring different items to do so and having a profession around it. Maybe even a small minigame around the taming process, making it quite difficult to do but improving with higher levels in it. Every animal should have a random level in different attributes that affect their speed, jumping, maneuvering, and stamina for sprinting. It would encourage getting involved more in the system and not just getting one mount. All animals could have some special skills as well that would be random, to make them vary even more. There should be a breeding system and profession involved with this as well. When you tame different animals with good traits, it would be possible to breed them for a chance to get a new mount with mixed traits and skills. To avoid mass breeding and mixing, the game should have a timer for a week for a new mount to be born and another week for it to grow up. The outcome of the baby mount could vary based on how well you take care of him while he is growing up. Each animal could have a random variation of fur and skin color with patterns that are generated when they spawn, and after breeding it is mixed from their parents' look. This could give a unique feel for each mount and more reasons to find one that looks cool as well. To give even more variations between mounts, it could give us the option to breed mounts that are similar species but are a bit different, but not completely different ones. For example, an ice wolf with an angry earth wolf, to create some unique combination of them, with a random looks and abilities. Stables could be a big part of mount system. If every town would have a stable for you to keep and breed your mounts, the number of how many could vary based on your breeding profession level and level of stables in town. Mounts you don't like you could release back in the wild and sell to other players. To change between mounts, you should need to go to stables to pick the one you want and leave the one you have. And they definitely should make calling mounts a realistic animation, like calling them from a distance and they quickly run to you from a side you're not looking at, instead of just spawning from air under you like some other games do. What could make the mounts even more unique? If you could level them up individually and pick certain effects from skill trees, making them even more unique and different from anyone else. These perks could give certain boosts in outcomes of breeding, mount maintenance like feeding, stamina regeneration, perk cooldowns, and many more. It should not be too hard or too tedious to level them up, but still enough work required to make it feel rewarding to have max level mount. Mounts could introduce new items for crafting involving their equipment, things like saddles, reins, stirrups, bridles, halters, bags, and harnesses. All of them could have different rarity and gear score with some minor perks as well. Some things could be optional and some mandatory to be able to use the mounts. Mount foods could also play a big part of this, having some different types of maintenance and keeping them happy, others giving some skill boost or effects, maybe even healing and protecting consumables. Inventory management could also be made easier if the main equipment mount could carry a certain amount of weight. It would be extremely useful for those long, massive harvesting runs we sometimes go for. It could also be affected by skills, perks of a mount, your riding level, and foods. We could even have some cool events, something like races where winning is not based on how you maxed everything out around your mount, but mini games and interactions to maintain speed and stay on the mount without falling down. It could be even more than this, and it has so much potential if developers are really actually trying to do something amazing. Mounts could be involved in PvP as well. I don't think combat on mounts will be in game, and I doubt it could work. However, certain PvP quests or events could work amazing around it. For example, some delivery quest from one town to another all on your mount without any fast travel, while enemy faction can see you on the map and could try to hunt you down. I think mounts in New World has such a big potential, and I really hope AGS will do their best to bring at least some of their ideas I covered in this video to New World. It might take a long time for this new system to come, but I believe it will be done nicely and maybe in a way I could not even imagine. Thank you all for watching. If you made it through this far, feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed this video. And if you would like to see more, you can always subscribe and turn on the notification button. I will see you next time in a tournament.